Hey guys, we're back. Walt and I, Herfin Heads, doing the Vindicator by Oliva. Another get it right center frame because I know this chops me in half. Uh, Vindicator by Oliva. It's a famous smoke shop exclusive. It's another one of them that they sent to us a while back, and we're just getting to. It's got a band on it. It looks like a guy that's. I guess he's a samurai, but I'm like he almost could be some sort of Roman legionnaire. I'm guessing that's probably not the point of it. Yeah. Anyway, it's a Nicaraguan Puro. It's Habano seed wrapper and binder apparently, and triple fermented Ligero and some V twisted filler, and about $5, $5.50.
And
So what
what
do you think? What,
the
what's
other
that?
the other one was what on sale for like marginally less. For argument's sake, they're more or less the same price. The Vindicator and the Inferno.
Yeah, I think MRP on the other one was actually 450. This is five. I think that's how it was, and both of them I think were on sale like last week or something like that. The 5 packs were. I don't think they are anymore. At least this one does not appear to be. So it's going to cost you $18 to get yourself a five, or it's $5 a piece. Except I don't think they're selling singles right now of these. So it's not too bad. So,
No, it's not bad at all.
yeah, it's cheap if you buy a 5 pack, I guess. So, and even cheaper in a box. So, there you go.
Yeah, I'm
So when
not.
you look,
I'm not a big fan of the band. It looks kind of comical. I don't know, just that big guy front and center, big samurai kind of guy. But aside from that, the cigar looks great. The color looks good. The wrapper looks neat. The cap is beautiful. Just all in all, it looks like a great, well-rounded, decently constructed cigar. It feels good. It doesn't feel soft or spongy or lumpy or anything like that.
yeah, you know what? It looks construction-wise, it looks a lot like the last one, the Inferno. Same kind of large. I mean, it looks like an Oliva made cigar. It's got a really large triple cap. And it's got a lot more of those kind of mashed-looking veins in there that I'm just really noticing a lot recently, at least with their stuff. I think I don't know if it's an Oliva thing or we talked about that last time. I think that they definitely do it with any of the larger veins. It doesn't look like it has veins large enough to be flattened out with that little tube thing that they use, but they still looks like they still did it anyway. So which is kind of cool. So maybe that's just a consistent thing. I think it is just part of the rolling process they go through, and they'll just mash it out. Pretty good looking cigar though. Kind of finer veins. These are a little dark on the dark side, which is interesting. And anyway, I didn't get a lot of smell off the wrapper. I'll be honest, but I mean a little light compost, maybe light chocolate. It's just kind of nothing really came out for me. How about you? Anything?
It's got like a little bit of a compost aroma, like you said, but aside from that, I'm not really noticing anything, and I'm only getting that aroma on the foot. I'm not there. There doesn't seem to be a heavy aroma on the wrapper itself.
No, no. I'm gonna go ahead and light up here as I lean off the frame. I'm sure. Be great if you're on my right side, because it'll look like I'm leaning right into you. Right. Jerry's gonna have to quit texting me.
Yeah, my phone's been beeping a lot too. I didn't check to see who it was though. I saw Charlie was asking about the Saints and Sinners, but that has absolutely nothing to do with this review.
Yeah, yeah.
The pre-light draw is great. It's free. There's a little bit of resistance there to keep it from overdrawing. And I taste something, but I can't quite place it. It's very distinct too.
Yeah, this one has like a taste like the aroma of walking through a factory a little bit of that the sweetness in the air from the fermentation. It comes over like molasses plus that really overwhelming I get and that ever since going, the most recent trip through all the factories, I keep tasting that. I keep getting that smell from the factories out of it when I puff through it. It's not ammonia, but it's like this sweet aroma of I don't know, it's escaping or what fermentation process, and it's just everywhere in the factories.
Yeah,
Almost like a chocolate, like a sweet molasses and chocolate. I got to refill my torch. Maybe a little pepper in there too.
yeah. This was just kind of like a distinct sweetness, but I still can't place it. I know the taste. I just can't think of what I would associate it with. Kind of bold and spicy through the sinus. I like that when the cigars start out really bold, especially that first puff through the sinus. It's almost like a cleansing puff, sort of.
Yeah, this one has a lot of smokiness to it. I don't, almost like it was that sweet leather or something like that in there a little bit, which I don't. This particular one, I noticed it, and I didn't notice it in any of the other ones.
Yeah, kind of sweet, kind of smoky, but it's off to a good start. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, there's a little bit of pepper in there too, but like a little, almost like a chocolate sauce type of flavor that I have picked up in this in previous smokes of it. But oh, we're off to start. Unless there's something you want to add. Oh, just for fun, I'm gonna throw out what I'm drinking to. Instead of just going with water, I'm going with a Red Brick 16, which they have the bottle, which with the wrapper on it that you just really can't see at all on camera. But it's a great beer, I gotta say. It's last year, so it's been aging. This is fantastic. This thing. Anyway, you drinking anything?
Nothing special. It's just some Keurig coffee. I think it's Wolfgang Puck grocery store stuff my wife picked up.
Stuff's great. Oh, this stuff is so good. Got a very small amount of it left. I thought it would. I thought it's a really dense, really malty beer. I thought it would go well with this based upon previous experience with it. So, all right. Well, I think we should smoke a little ways. We're probably about 26 minutes into the video at this point. Everybody's asleep. We'll play a loud noise when we come back to wake you up.
Wake up! Did that help? Remember?
Oh, I'm awake. Was that for me or for them?
That was for them. Remember, he said we need to do something loud and obnoxious when we come back because we talk too much.
Oh, yes.
Or were we away too long and we just kind of forgot about it? At any rate, we're back, and we're at the halfway point of our Vindicator. Oh, that was fun.
I'm glad you remembered. I totally didn't. I was too busy worrying about my router dying, which it may well do again, but yes. So, how's it going for you, man? I kind of cut you off.
Well, I'm not really getting any sort of sweetness out of it, but it does have a really heavy, thick, sort of meaty, smoky flavor. It's got a heavy texture on the palate, so I would definitely consider this cigar to have a creamy finish. It's pretty easy on the palate. It's not beating me up, but it doesn't feel like it's aggressive or anything. So, all in all, it's probably medium bodied, medium flavor with just good, hearty, heavy flavors, or hearty, heavy sort of flavor profile.
That sounds a lot like what I'm getting. We were talking in the break a little bit about it, and I get a little bit of sweetness out of this, but it's kind of like the way that there's a little bit of sweetness in milk chocolate and lighter chocolates than there is in like the dark chocolate. It's there, but it's not like a pronounced syrup or anything. I'm not really getting it now, and I don't know, maybe I puffed on it short succession, so it's heating up, but it's more of like a meaty, It's definitely smoky, meaty, smoky. Yeah, it's a good like a grill flavor. You know, it's kind of like I'm smoking meat in my mouth with this thing. So I mean, that's I don't know. I don't really want to say more than that. That sounds great, actually, or really bad.
You know,
But
construction-wise, this is doing really well too. I'm not having any sort of issues with the burn, the way it's smoking. So you know, it's not just another house blend. You know, it's sometimes I find it really hard to get excited about house blends because I don't know. I've had a lot of lackluster experiences with them, but you know, this one is burning well. It's smoking well. It tastes good. You know, it's just a good solid cigar.
you know what it is? It right now it's like it's not quite sweetness. It's like a little hint of like a. When I really think about it, it's like a paprika, or like a spice you get on smoked foods. But yeah, with the construction, I mean, this thing is. I mean, look at that, more or less in the center there, just even, just like that. I mean, it's like every one I've had has been basically like that. The solid, really light ash. I don't think Oliva knows how to make a bad cigar. In terms of construction, I mean, just their rolling is immaculate. They always look great. I mean, to me. So I gotta agree with you. I've never really had it. The only issue I ever have is when I get distracted. I'm looking at something on the internet, whatever. You know, I set it down and I've let it go out. But that's it. I mean, and that's on me. So can't really fault it for that.
Well, I think that's a pretty glowing report for the second third. So we'll take another break and be back in just a second.
Cheers. And we're back. And the cigars are growing very short. The bands are off. Gloves come off, as I said last time, which doesn't really mean anything. What do you think so far, Walt?
Mine's getting a little bit warm. It's getting a little sour, but it's still predominantly meaty and smoky. No real change aside from that little bit of a sour note. And again, I think it's just because the cigar's getting short and warm.
I'm getting a little bit of a mustiness to mine, which I think I noticed it at this point in other ones. Some of the I still get a little bit of that spice that I picked up before I was talking about. That little, it's like a paprika, just like this, a little bit of a spice to it, but it's kind of meaty and smoky, and it's a little less exciting at this point. The first 2/3 were more interesting for me. This is not bad, but I don't know. It's nothing I absolutely have to keep smoking at this point, really. But I mean, it's been burning great, and for the most part, it's been a solid smoke. What do you think, Walt? I mean, is this something you'd buy more of, or?
Yeah, I think you make a good point about the first and second third being more lively. You know, at this point, I could take it or leave it, but I definitely think it's a good value at $5 a stick. It's a good solid buy.
Well, since it's been a few weeks, but it's pretty recent. Between this and the Disco Inferno, or the Inferno, whatever it was, the previous one that we were both by Oliva, which do you prefer?
I think I like the Inferno a little bit more.
And I believe that one's 50 cents cheaper than this one. I think at MSRP. I haven't double checked that, but as I recall, that was $4.50 for the Robusto retail, and this is $5. It's kind of a tough call. I might actually agree with you. I came into this disagreeing with you, but I think you might be right. That one's, I think, a better buy, and it up until this final third, I was kind of leaning towards this, but I think overall that's a better performing stick. I mean, it's a better bang for your buck stick. This is not bad at all, though. I mean, I kind of like it. We use a lot of the same words to describe both of them, but this is definitely a different profile than the other one, even though they both have very dark, very heavy flavors. Would you agree with that? I mean, we're using a lot of the same terminology, but there's a real big difference between the two. Well, somewhat of a difference.
Yeah, I think if anything, this cigar is a bit heavier, and I don't know. It just seems darker, if that kind of makes sense. The flavor profiles seem darker and heavier, whereas the other cigar was I don't know, it was a little bit brighter. You know, and now I'm using colors to describe flavors, but
Yeah. There's a mental disorder that explains all that away. So you know, we can take you to a psychiatrist after this or something.
it's got a wonderful shade of purple about it. I mean,
Yeah. Not picking up any chartreuse or burgundy notes, huh?
a little burnt umber.
Burnt umber. You know, actually, chartreuse and burgundy aren't those both? Those are both actual drinks. So that's a really stupid thing I just did there. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I actually had something I was going to say, and I had something for this, and I forgot. But yeah, the other one seems like a better value. Oh, you know what? That's what I was going to say. One of the big differences, the previous one, the Inferno seemed like it had more of a savoriness to it. Remember we were talking about that,
Yeah.
as I recall. I'm not really getting that out of this, but this one, the livelier parts of it had more of that spice to it, that little kind of I don't know, so the kind of spice that you'd put in like a Mexican mocha, kind of an interesting. I don't want to call it a zing, but something like maybe call it a zing. I don't know. I mean, people talk about the Nicaraguan zing, so I don't know. You can call it that, but I'm not really thinking that. So that's kind of an interesting difference between the two. But this is good. It's good smoke. I would consider buying it again, but I think I'd be more inclined to buy the Inferno over this. I think we both agree on that.
Yep, definitely. I think the if I were to choose one or the other, I think I would go with the Inferno.
Well, I think that about covers it. So must be time for us to sign off this edition of Herfing Heads, if we're calling it that. I'm going to call it that. I mean, if
Sounds
I'm writing
good.
both. Okay.
All right, now that we've got that awkward silence out of the way, we'll.
This whole thing has been awkward. I just want people to know it's probably because I hopped myself up on Monster energy drink. I just took a big old slug of that before this, and it just lasted the whole time. So I've been like, ah. But maybe we should let Jerry sign us off again. What do you think?
I take it away, Jerry.
Working the cigar in my mouth and bam, get hit with a nice little surprise. Those are two flavors that I really did, and I'm like, man, you know, for $3.30, I mean, that's you know, and the flavors that you're getting, sure, they're not the overly rich flavors that you get from Booty Rock Rich. I have to exert a little more effort than I like. My wife hates it. That's what she said.